On a Thursday night as KRC presents the running of the Golden Corral 500 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway on the NASCAR 6 Total Team Control Nextel Cup Series season. Race number 4 of 36 tonight, and our Do It For Dale series, trying to get Dale Earnhardt Jr. his first career NASCAR Cup Series championship. In the year 2005 right now, we are 3 races in, 3 different winners so far. 2 for Roush Fenway of Greg Biffle and Carl Edwards winning the most recent race at Las Vegas, and Dale Jr. getting a fuel mileage win in the only 50% race of the year, so far at least, at the California Speedway. Another 100% race here tonight. Our first 500-mile race outside of the Daytona 500, which kickstarted the season, and this one, of course, on a mile and a half. So a little bit different. We just ran a mile and a half in the last race, a very flat mile and a half at Old Las Vegas. So this is a very fast, high-banked mile and a half, fastest mile and a half in the 2005 circuit. At least this in Texas. I mean, these Gen 4 cars ripped around this place. You're going to be seeing speeds of nearly 200 miles per hour on corner entry all night long. Welcome to the stream, though, everybody. Samuel Tabarez, Billy Kramer, Seth Thomas, and others, welcome to the stream. We're about to get qualifying kicked off here. Practice. I actually felt very good with the race car in practice. It's amazing how much different the Cup Series is in this game compared to the Trucks. Truck Series last night ran 130 laps, so had a little bit of practice, at least at this racetrack in this game before tonight's Cup race. But it is just crazy how different the Cup Series is in this game from the Truck Series. Like, you go into NASCAR heat, and like everything kind of drives similarly, and this is not the case. I mean, the Cup Series, you can definitely feel like you have more speed in the center of the corner compared to the Trucks. Creates a little bit less stability at times, so a little bit of an edgier setup for qualifying. I'm going to tighten it up quite a bit before the start of the race, so hopefully I have good track position, so that way I'm not going to be too tight if I'm back in traffic. Viva Palone 93, welcome to the stream as well. Got the alternative Dale Jr. Bud Light paint scheme from the 2005 season on the car as well for the second time this year. First time since the Daytona 500, which again was a 500-mile race. Jr. led some laps in that one, had a shot to win. We'll see if he can win his first mile and a half today and be the first driver to win more than one race this season. Or will we go through the 4th race of the year with a 4th different winner? Again, only 10 drivers qualified for the chase, but wins do not account for that. Strictly the top 10 in points. 2 DEI cars in the top 10 right now. Martin Truex Jr. sitting 8th in points, and Dale Jr. sitting in 10th as of right now, following the first 3 races. Lap 1 will begin for Dale Earnhardt Jr. looking to kickstart the Golden Corral 500, hopefully from the front row and on the pole. Very fast through turns 1 and 2 right now for Dale Jr. He's got a couple poles in the Busch Series, and his only pole of the Cup Series was in the 500. Looking for his second pole of the Cup Series season. Hooking the white line beautifully through 3 and 4. And I think he's got it on lap 1. He does. Lap 1, 29.365. Dale Earnhardt Jr. will be on the pole. No need to run lap 2 and risk wrecking the race car. Look at how much faster he was than Tony Stewart. He had over a 10th and a half on him. It looked like it right around that. That is unbelievable. Mark DeMars, welcome to the stream as well. So Dale Jr. on the pole for tonight's Golden Corral 500. Oh, man. Now I'm contemplating, do I want that setup in the race car? Because that was a really fast lap, and I feel like I can just get away from the field. The problem is the long run. I know I'm going to get really loose once we get 30, 40 laps into the run. And unless we have a lot of cautions, which is possible in this game, we've seen that happen quite a few times, I don't want to bank on that. I think I'm going to play it. Oh, man, I don't know what to do here. I talked myself into before qualifying. I'm like, okay, this is the race setup. I'm going to qualify on the pole. I'm going to go back to it. I didn't think I was going to qualify on the pole by that much. 10th and a half over Tony Stewart in second. Oh, boy, we got decisions to make here. I'm going to choose stability. I'm going to play it smart. I'm not going to be stupid and second-guess myself and get in a wreck early in the race. We're going to put an extra round of wedge in the car. We're going to drop the air pressure down a couple pounds. I'm gonna go grip over speed here. It's the smart move. I almost talked myself out of it. Oh, jeez. Green flag is going to be in the air. Dale Earnhardt Jr. will lead the field to the green regardless at the Atlanta Motor Speedway this afternoon. And Tony Stewart getting a launch on the outside. Junior did not take off well on the start, kind of similar to Ron Hornaday, who qualified on the pole in the truck race last night. Tony Stewart's going to get to the lead. He's going to likely be able to lead lap 1 from second place. Junior didn't lose as many spots as Hornaday on the opening lap. Well, never mind. I guess Truex was able to get down in front of Dale Jr., and Junior's in 4th place behind his teammate. He's on the inside of Truex now on the front stretch. Tony Stewart, again, will lead lap 1, underway at the Atlanta Motor Speedway today. Junior will make the pass for 3rd. It's all about just trying to keep the car clean. Carl Edwards trying to go for back-to-back wins today. He's all over the back of Tony Stewart right now. Edwards got his first career win at the Atlanta Motor Speedway in real life in 2005, a photo finish of Jimmy Johnson. Haven't seen a photo finish in any of the races on this game. Had some nail biters. Last night was looking like it was going to be a good one until it ended under the caution. The wreck with about 2 laps to go. In our Truck Series event under the lights versus in the daytime. Junior's car is still fast even with this setup. He is closing quickly on Carl Edwards in 2nd. Junior looking to the inside. Not going to be able to get around Carl Edwards that time. Sits in line behind him into turn 1. Not going to be too aggressive too early. Dale Jr. knows he's got a good race car. Ethan says grip in the chat. Welcome to the stream, by the way, Ethan. Yeah, I did go with the grip over the overall speed. Edwards nearly sneaks underneath Tony Stewart that time into turn 3. In doing so, he overdrives the corner, goes to the outside, and Dale Jr. now will get underneath Edwards for 2nd. So Stewart's led the first 4 laps of the race. Dale Jr. wants to be the leader at lap 5 at the line. Into turn 1, Stewart with a block. Cutting back down to the inside, Junior's cleared Edwards in the middle of the corner for 2nd place. Looks to the inside of Stewart on the back straightaway. Dale Earnhardt Jr. with a run. Oh, he got into Stewart. He overdrives the corner. Stewart moves up the racetrack. Junior's going to have the lead off turn 4. Be a bit too aggressive only on lap number 5, but Dale Jr.'s in the lead, scoring 5 bonus points, leading his first lap of the race. Most laps he's led in a Cup race this season was in the Daytona 500, where he led 54 laps. He's led 71 on a total on the season through the first 3 races. Only led 13 laps in a victory at California, and he only got that win based off of fuel mileage. Still the only top 10 of the Cup Series season. And Stewart not only lost the lead that lap, but Edwards got around him for 2nd. Stewart's going to try to get back underneath Edwards through 1 and 2. I'm not sure if Dale Jr. is going to be able to run and hide with this setup, though. It's more set up for the longer run just to try to keep overall grip and keep the car planted to the racetrack, as he doesn't want to be too loose on the long run. But in doing that, sure, he can kind of go where he wants to with the race car because he has the handling, but it's just lacking speed right now. Even with clean air. Tony Stewart's got to get back underneath him, and if that's the case, it is going to be a very racy kind of race today, and you're seeing that early. Junior tried to hold the outside. He didn't have to run the outside in practice at all. So it was a little uncomfortable with it there. Got into Stewart down the back straightaway. Slowed Tony up, who still stays in 2nd, but Earnhardt will be the one staying in the lead. R6, welcome to the stream. Looks like Greg Biffle in 4th place closing in, and he's underneath Edwards for the lead. Biffle's had a hot start to the season. One of only 3 drivers to have 3 top 10s in the first 3 races of the year is Biffle. And he had a 1st and 2nd place finish in the first 2 races of the year at Daytona, winning the 500, and a 2nd place finish to Dale Jr. at California. Biffle barely cracked the top 10 though at Vegas. And remember, he may be a rival of Dale Earnhardt Jr. based off the last Cup race as well. And Biffle's up to 2nd through 3 and 4, getting around Stewart and looking to go after Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the lead right now. And this is troubling for Dale Jr. because he does not want to get turned right now by the 16. Yeah, Jeff Gordon in the top 5 as well. Actually, I think you were thinking of Biffle being Gordon. Oh, that is Jeff Gordon. Oh my goodness, I thought it was the National Guard car at first. So it's Jeff Gordon who's in second place. Not Greg Biffle, sorry for that. I was so used to Jeff Gordon running the Flames paint scheme. I think he's got a PPG paint scheme. That's very strange. What is this, Ryan Blaney? It looks like a PPG paint scheme on the front. I don't think it's the regular DuPont Flames car, though. It's definitely an alternative scheme for Gordon today, as well as Dale Jr. I've never seen that paint scheme before. It looked like the National Guard colors that Biffle's car would have. Jimmy Johnson's in 5th right now behind Edwards, so never mind. Biffle's not even in the top 5 right now. And thanks for correcting me in the chat. It is Gordon. I thought it was Biffle the whole time. The paint scheme threw me off, but I saw the 24 out of my peripheral vision, and I was like, wait a minute, that's Jeff Gordon. Cool to see you're enjoying Indy right now, Derek. I'm making my drive on Saturday. Church Jr., despite starting in the 6th place position, at least couldn't keep up with the top 5 in the beginning. Tony Stewart back to the inside of Jeff Gordon. Blue Flames on the 24 instead of the red ones. A lot of battling for second. Earnhardt's led every lap since taking the lead at lap 5 from Stewart. Roulette wheel of second place. Drivers swapping back and forth. Gordon's been there for a few laps. Stewart. Edwards initially was there. And now Gordon again as he gets around Stewart through 3 and 4. Cincinnati won 20-5. That's insane. I didn't see that. Outside of the Tigers, I haven't really paid attention to baseball. Outside of that, seeing that Aaron Judge has hit a boatload of home runs already this season, that's like all I've seen in baseball. I've been kind of paying attention to the NHL playoffs. And NASCAR, of course. Tony Stewart back to 4th place. He's going to go wide in 1 and 2 as well. Low exit for Dale Jr. off turn 2. Protective line on the backstretch to keep Jeff Gordon behind him. Just goes to show again how much grip the 8 car has with the setup changes from qualifying to the race. He's not able to pull away because he doesn't have that much faster of a race car anymore, but there was no way the edginess of that car was going to be able to last more than 30-40 laps into the run without spinning down. Dale Jr. wants to obviously not wreck the car. Now how hard it is to come back, especially in this game with a wrecked race car. It completely takes the speed out of it. I'm not going to lie, when I saw something about Jimmy Johnson, the Indy 500, I thought you were being serious for a second until I saw my name in there. I do not trust myself at those speeds. Never driven an Indy car before either. Never driven a race car. Like a closed... yeah, I raced quarter midgets, I guess. I guess that kind of counts, but it's a little different. It's a lot different. Gino dripping the white line all the way through turns 1 and 2. It's going to be tough to get around the 8 car if he's not making any mistakes. And the more laps he runs, the more he's getting settled in right now. And obviously the clean air advantage is playing king. Plus the 130-lap truck race last night just for myself, giving me some extra laps at this track. Plus the practice for the truck series and qualifying there. And plus the practice of qualifying for the Cup side. And a lot of laps in at Atlanta just before this race started. Within the last 24 hours. Clipped the apron a bit that time through 1 and 2. Still a lot of grip though for Dale Jr. Hangs on to the race car with ease. Doesn't want to keep flirting with that and making a bad habit to go down there. Especially at this racetrack. We saw that become a problem for Hornaday in the truck race last night. Hornaday had a fast race truck, just ran out of time at the end of the race to try and close in on the race winner, Ricky Craven. We're going to refer to those that Mark DeMar said in the chat that we've been seeing lately. We're going to refer to them as the 4-letter B word from now on in the chat. Because I feel that they sense something when you actually say the name or say the word, the 4-letter B word. Because it seems like we talk about them and then they pop up. I don't know what it is, but that seems to be the case. It could be a coincidence. It very well could be. But knowing AI and knowing technology nowadays, I don't know if that's actually the case or not. I can't definitively side one way or the other on how true it is or isn't. Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr. not teammates in this 2005 season. I think Gordon just got the wall off turn 4. Edwards nearly got around him for second place on the front stretch, but Gordon hangs on. You're good for now. I don't think you... I think you're alright. Derek, what did I just say? I just said not to say that. The 4-letter B word. No, I do not want to marry them. Who is that? Manti Te'o that married like a computer or something? Wasn't that a thing? I mean, I might have my stories confused. You guys would have to correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but I don't want to be the Manti Te'o of the NASCAR YouTube community. If that makes any sense at all. For those of you that get that reference. Carl Edwards sliding into second place right now in the same paint scheme he won his first career race at in real life. At the Atlanta Motor Speedway. How fitting would it be if he actually wins this race today? Of course, it'd be a second career win based off of this season because he just won at Las Vegas, but maybe the 1.5 miles proving very well for Edwards. Dale Earnhardt Jr. holding on right now in that top spot, though. He has no teammates up here of Truex and Waltrip, nowhere to be found for right now. 30 laps in, caution-free so far tonight. We went about 66 laps in the truck race without a caution before having 4 of them in the second half. And in the final 64 laps of that race last night. I'm kind of curious as to who that is at the very back of the field. If you look on the track map on the upper right-hand corner of the screen, there's one car that is well off the pace from everybody else, but not, like, slow enough to where they have a problem. Nobody has blown an engine in this race and then came back in, as far as I know. Like, all 43 cars are still in this. Dale Jr. with a pretty wide corner entry through turns 1 and 2. Tony Stewart was in the middle of trying to clear Carl Edwards, so he didn't really have much of a shot to get underneath Dale Jr. Stewart going to go a bit wide. Carl Edwards going wide as well. Lap 33, halfway on fuel through the opening run for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Track position is king right now at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Great 8. We've kind of been fooling around with this game, I feel like, the last little bit, in the sense that I feel like I'm just not getting the most out of the car. You guys are used to seeing me dominate races, and I have not done that at all yet. One win in the Busch, one win in the Cup Series. Both of those races, I did not lead the most laps, so we need to get back to our NASCAR 05 selves here. We'll see if tonight is the night that Dale Jr. can go out and dominate a race and try to prove to himself, the fans, and the rest of the field that he will be a championship contender this season. And being 10th in points is just something early in the year that he's going to overcome quickly. 66 laps on a full tank. I'm probably going to go 65 just to be safe. I don't want to run out on the 66th lap. So Dale Jr. likely going to plan on pitting at lap 65, at least as of right now. Which is a good round number to pick, considering it's a 325 lap race too. Unless he's able to save some fuel in the second half of this run, which could be possible. I don't know how he can do it, but you never know, he could do it. Nathan Elliott, welcome to the stream. Gordon's there. I don't think anybody's got a car that's gonna be able to get around Dale Jr. Jr.'s just fast enough, and again, qualifying on the pole was so huge to have this track position early on that he didn't have to use the edgy setup he had in qualifying to try to get to the pole, and he was able to keep this track position early on. I mean, if he fell out of the lead, the handling wouldn't be quite the same. I think he'd be a little too tight this late in the run. Another reason why he really wants to hold on right now. And they're battling for second enough and changing positions enough back there that there's not a whole lot of pressure on Dale Jr. Plus, it's super early in the race, so he's not letting the pressure get to himself either by mirror driving too much. No, Nathan, you missed it in the chat. Four-letter B word is what we're referring to it now. We don't want to jinx anything. Earnhardt got a little out of shape off turn 2 that time. Had to lift on the back straightaway, and Edwards is all over him into turn 3. Oh, see what I mean? We talk about it in the chat, and there they are. Edwards is underneath the 8 of Dale Jr. into turn 1. Jr. trying to hold the outside. He's not going to be able to do it. He hasn't practiced it. How about Elliott Sadler looking for third place off turn 2? Carl Edwards to the lead for the first time tonight. Junior's car is very edgy right now. He's going to just let those guys get around him on the inside. Trying to run a clean race, and Junior's now back to the 5th place position. Gordon going wide through 3 and 4. Going to open the door up for Dale Jr. to get back underneath him again as Carl Edwards leads at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Gordon aggressively trying to side draft the 8 of Dale Jr. on the front stretch into turns 1 and 2. Jr. will complete the pass to get back to 4th place. Feel a DNF coming, unfortunately? I hope not. Be sure to hit that like button. Our goal is going to be 50 likes on the stream tonight. We came to 45 in the last Cup race, but this is 100 miles longer. So I think we can get to 50. We're at 10 right now. We're only on lap 44, so great work down in the comment section. But we currently have 17 people watching right now, so not everybody has hit that like button so far. Be sure to do so if you haven't already. And subscribe, of course, for more daily NASCAR content. Doing live commentary for tomorrow night's NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race at Charlotte. So, our live commentary stream of the week, again, will be tomorrow night's truck race because I'll be at the Indy 500 on Sunday, so I will not be able to do live commentary for the Coke 600. So we'll have the race commentary for tomorrow. I may potentially have it on Saturday for the Xfinity race. That's supposed to start at 1:30. There is a possibility I may do the commentary for that and then leave for Indy right after. But I'm not entirely sure. And the only reason I say that is because the race is at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon. I only live 4 hours from Indianapolis, so I may be willing to do that. I'm not totally sure on that. That's really going to be down to the last second kind of a situation. I should know by tomorrow night if I'm going to do that or not. So that could be a possibility as well. But definitely doing live commentary for the truck race tomorrow night. Now, if the truck race gets rained out tomorrow, because there is rain in the forecast at Charlotte tomorrow night. If it does rain, then unfortunately I am not going to be able to do the truck race commentary this weekend because considering the Xfinity race is in the daytime on Saturday, that means if they did have to move the truck race to Saturday, it would probably be Saturday night or Saturday evening, and that's just too late in the day for me to do it because I have to get to Indy tomorrow night. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. If it is raining at the track when the stream is supposed to start at 8:30 tomorrow night, we'll do a NASCAR 06 stream instead tomorrow night in place of the truck race. But if the truck race, goes on according to plan and there's no rain, at least at all around the race, or there's a short rain delay at the start of the race, I'll still do the Truck Series live commentary. So just giving you guys a heads up. I'll kind of make that reminder throughout the course of tonight's race and at the end of the stream as well, for those of you maybe wondering, because it's a little different circumstance this week with me going on the road. That's why I'm doing the commentary for the truck race despite it being a Friday night, because I won't have to work Saturday. I'll have off on Saturday this weekend. Dale Jr. lost the lead. He's just not able to keep up with those guys anymore. He is closing back on Elliott Sadler for third, though. Ooh, Tony Stewart, Carl Edwards get to battling up at the front of the field. It could allow Dale Jr. to really close in. It looked like we may have had trouble in turns 1 and 2 that last lap. There's a puff of smoke on the outside near the wall. Dale Jr. clipping the apron a bit. Gets a tad loose as he tried to get underneath the Elliott Sadler in the 38. Tony Stewart right now with a 20. Really low off the exit of turn 2 and all the way down the back straightaway, trying to get to the lead on Carl Edwards in the 99. And Dale Jr. has ran a very clean race so far and wants to keep it that way. Yeah, I saw that. Congratulations, Seth. Saw your comment in the chat right when the stream started tonight. Jr. just didn't want to squeeze underneath Elliott Sadler that time. Sadler was flirting with the outside, and Jr. thought about getting underneath him, but didn't feel he could have done it. Edwards got up in the marbles off of turn 2. Dale Jr. with a wide arc into 3 and 4, trying to back the corner up. Oh, got back in the gas a bit too soon. He shoved up the racetrack anyway. Almost kind of diamond the corner off. He did get it to cut back off the exit of the corner again. Trying to get to the inside of Elliott Sadler in the 38. He is there into turn 1, side by side for third. Dale Jr. on the inside, Elliott Sadler in the 38, M&M's Ford up high, and Jr.'s clear. Off turn 3, Edwards just got in the wall again off turn 2. Last lap he nearly got in the wall. That time he did get in the wall. Tony Stewart couldn't capitalize, and Stewart overdrives turns 3 and 4 now. Keep racing sloppy up there. Jr. may have a shot to get back to the lead. Again, lap 65 is when Dale Jr. is looking at pitting. May see some drivers pit before that. See how that comes about. Hopefully the picture is on the money. I hope so too. I'm definitely going to pull the trigger on putting the setup back in from qualifying during the race. I'm able to do that because of how I adjusted the car before the start of the race. That I just need to put the 2 pounds of air pressure back in and then the round of wedge back in. But I'm only going to do that if I feel we're going to get a lot of short runs. Is when I'm going to pull the trigger. It's still way too early in the race to do that right now, though. We have to make this. This is a 500-mile race. It's all about survival in these types of races, especially in this era of NASCAR. 10 laps away from our first stop of the night. Dale Jr.'s all right with settling in third place, getting to the first stop. He's gotten some laps led, even if he isn't currently the leader anymore. Wonder which one of these 5 cars in the top 5 will be the first to pit. He's going to pull the trigger. And we know Junior's going to stay out to lap 65. Still goes a bit wide through 3 and 4. Top 5 all stay out that time as well. In fact, nobody has hit pit road yet. Lap 58. Let alone any of the top 5. Now we have some drivers pitting off turn 4 towards the back of the... Oh, no, never mind. It looked like... Thought they were checking up. I guess not. And Stewart's going to pit this time. From second place, trying to make sure he gets out in front of the field first. I believe Elliott Sadler pit that last lap with Stewart as well from 4th. Edwards a bit wide in the middle of turns 3 and 4. You know, he's not going to pit this time. Dale Jr. closed on Edwards quite a bit that last lap. May have a shot of getting around him here as he looks low on the front stretch. That'd be huge if Dale Jr. can get around Edwards before the stop. Dale Jr. down low, Carl Edwards up high. And Jr. is leading off turn 2. Didn't need to wait for Carl Edwards to pit, and I wonder if Edwards is going to pit this time knowing he just lost the lead, or is he going to just try to battle Dale Jr. to the end of this fuel and tire stint. Mark Truex Jr. is on pit road, the first of the 3 DEI Chevrolets to pit. Dale Jr. leads now with Michael Waltrip, wherever he's at in the field, not sure where he's running. Wiggly off turn 2. Dale Jr. managing the throttle to keep control of his race car. Down into turns 3 and 4 now. Edwards takes a peek. Down low. Jr. getting loose off turn 4 again. I think Edwards getting close to the back bumper of the 8 car of Dale Jr. is upsetting the airflow off the rear spoiler. I think that is the case because he almost lost it into turn 1 again. Edwards is going to get to the outside looking for the lead now off turn 2. It's amazing what the air does in this game. You get a car close, tucked up underneath you, even if they don't hit you, you can get loose like that. But Edwards is up high. He's not going to be able to pit this time, even if he wanted to, and Dale Jr. is going to hang on to the lead. A lot better handling through 3 and 4. Lap car of Scott Wimmer just came off of pit road. Terry Labonte coming out of the pits, down in the bottom. Dale Jr. is going to clear him before getting into turn 3. So is Carl Edwards. Edwards down to the bottom. Jr. down to the bottom. Jr. staying out. One more lap. Jr. now looks low underneath the 22 of Wimmer. Carl Edwards just pit that last lap. Michael Waltrip's on pit road now. 3 wide are some of the lap cars way up ahead. Now they're 2 by 2 in the middle of 1 and 2. Dale Jr. is going to pit this time, so lap 64 Jr. will pit instead of 65. He'll be on his way in. Well, he drifted a bit wide, and he's going to stay out to lap 65 anyway. He didn't want to chop down in case Scott Wimmer was there. I guess he had the clearance to still do it, but he didn't want to risk turning himself off the front bumper of the 22. He's going to make sure he enters a lot lower this time, even if he has to back the corner up to do so through 3 and 4. It's alright, he was originally going to go 65 laps anyway. That's going to be the case again into turns 3 and 4. Dale Jr. sticks the bottom this time, and Dale Jr. will be on his way to pit road. And trying not to speed, he does not. Perfect. 4 tires and fuel coming up. No adjustments through the first stop of the day for Dale Earnhardt Jr. at lap 65. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content again tonight. 20 few viewers currently watching the early going of the Golden Corral 500 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Caution free so far. Green flag pit stop at lap 65 for Dale Jr. He was in 3rd place when the pit stop started. We'll see where he'll cycle out. It was about a half a second, maybe a little more than that, off of Tony Stewart, who was leading. Carl Edwards, who was leading, and Stewart was the first to pit from 2nd. There goes Tony Stewart. Shane Meals lapped down right now. I think he was that slower car at the back of the pack. Junior gets up to speed through 3 and 4. He's lost 1 spot during green flag pit stops. Back to 4th. It was a clean stop for the 18. It's about 2 seconds off the race lead though right now. Elliott Sadler just cycled up to 2nd. Him and Stewart were the first 2 to hit pit road at the same time, so I guess that does explain why they came out 1-2. And no mistakes for the picture, at least for the first stop. We'll hope that stays the same going forward. Shane Meals crossing Carl Edwards over right now through turns 3 and 4. We know Meal is well off the pace. He's the first car to go a lap down in this race. But him holding up Edwards is definitely going to help Dale Jr. close in. Edwards will hold clear up high. Meal couldn't completely cross him over. Oh, Junior goes around. Keep your foot in it. Oh, Jeff Gordon piles in. And, oh, Kurt Busch. At the end there, Junior clipped the white line. Spun the car out. He had it saved until Jeff Gordon came in and clocked him in the driver's side door. Kurt Busch involved as well. Busch went for a ride after the impact. It's just so easy to lose control in this game. He was on the white line, but that wasn't anything different from what he had done in the race prior to that. That is amazing how stuff works out like that sometimes. I feel like I didn't make a mistake. Like, that's how easy the car looped around. Especially early in the run on fresher tires.
I
don't know, I guess it happens sometimes. Free pass going to get to Shane Meal in the 0-8, so he's back in the lead lap, and all 43 cars still in the race. Tony Stewart leads on the restart following the first caution of the day. Dale Jr. back in traffic. This is the danger zone on the restarts in the Truck Series, at least late in the race last night. We'll see how the Cup Series is. At least through the first 2 laps after the restart, they seem to be a little bit more patient with each other. And Dale Jr. has one of the fastest cars in the field, so he's really trying to take advantage of this. Aggressive move to go 3 wide down to the bottom. I keep forgetting, I think well, no, they are hidden. Never mind. I think that was the same one. Gonna add some more moderators in the chat real quick. Try to help out with it. Jesus. I blame having to pause it there for that. Got me out of a rhythm and I just completely drove it onto the apron. Oh, contact off turn 2. They're stacking up and they're 4 wide down on the bottom of the track into turn 3. Oh no! Junior gets turned. Up in front of the field, I believe Jimmy Spencer was the one who got pinched into the wall. Scott Riggs, actually. Spencer did get a piece of it, so did John Andretti. Yeah, they were 4 wide going into turn 3. Dale Jr. tried to get all the spots he could down on the bottom, trying to gas his way through. And that's our second caution of the race. It looks like a lot of cars are going to be pitting right now, but Dale Jr. knows he can't pit for fuel or tires himself here. So he's going to have a little bit older tires, especially considering he spun twice on them now. Heading to the next restart. We mentioned as long as he wasn't back in traffic, the car was going to handle a lot better today too, and now that he is in traffic, the car is obviously not handling well for him. Green flag back in the air. Good news is he's back up to 6th. The problem is he's on a little bit older tires. 10 to 15 lap older tires. Green flag laps compared to the rest of the field. He's going to try to hold on. Casey Kane side by side with Greg Biffle in the 16 right now. Casey Kane putting a lot of pressure on Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 car. Following the restart, Junior's up to speed now. A little contact up towards the front of the field. Oh, a couple cars almost got in the wall. I think that was Edwards again. And we kind of saw that very early in the race, too. Jeff Gordon is leading laps for the first time today. Oh, one car dropping down to the apron. Going into turns 3 and 4. I think we might have our first engine failure of the night. Yep, somebody slow in the middle of turns 3 and 4. I'm not sure who it is, but whoever it is, they are off the pace. Do I know how many wins I have on this channel throughout the years? Gosh, I have no clue. I wish I knew. That'd actually be kind of a cool statistic. I could do the math if I go back through like all the playlists of the seasons. How many wins I have. I feel like we've got to be close to the Richard Petty 200 mark between all 3 series. Jeff Gordon T-boned you, now he's leading, yeah. Crazy how that works. He's about to lose the lead, though. He's on the outside, and Tony Stewart's going to take it back off turn 4. It looks like Edwards is going to get the second as well. Kurt Busch was also in that mess, and he's also in the top 5 for the first time tonight now. In 4th. Gordon slides in line right in front of him. Definitely bunched together following those first 2 cautions of the day. I felt confident in the handling of the car, and I mean, I'm going to own up to the fact I made a mistake spinning out in turn 4, but I have no clue how I did it, though. I mean, I know the left side tires got on the white line, but I had been hugging that white line all day and never got that loose. They just looped right around on me. No chance to catch it. It's crazy. Dale Jr. to the outside of Elliott Sadler, going to try to side draft him on the backstretch. I don't know if he's going to make the pass up here. A little bit older tires. Risky to do so. The outside at Atlanta. Old Atlanta. Old Atlanta. Not like old with the tire surface old, but the... Just old in general. Kurt Busch is up high as well. The outside of Jeff Gordon. Dale Jr. side drafting Elliott Sadler. And I gotta say, Jr.'s holding on the outside pretty well right now. The problem is now Kurt Busch is not going very well in front of him. I don't know if this is a wise decision to go up the middle, 3 wide. That was not the wise decision from Dale Earnhardt Jr. In the wall with Kurt Busch. And Gordon was able to get by on the bottom, unharmed, I believe. Ay, 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 ay. NASCAR LOL, welcome to the stream. I was extremely happy Blaney won the All-Star race. 1 out of 10. Yeah, it wasn't a very good race, but... Yeah, I should not have gone up the middle 3 wide. That just did not work. Dumb move. I was so patient the first like 70 laps of the race, 60, well, up until that first pit stop and then a little after that. So about the first 70 laps. So patient the first 70 laps of the race before we had that first caution. And then I made a mistake, and now I just keep making mistakes because I'm not patient anymore. R6 stated he felt like we were going to have a DNF in this one. And I was being super patient until that first yellow, and there's still a long ways to go in this race. Junior just needs to dial it back off again. He'll get up through the field eventually. Now Kurt Busch's arrival. That's the second Roush Fenway car that's a rival right now with Dale Earnhardt Jr. Yeah, I did upload my reaction video, I guess, to the All-Star race last weekend. I wonder what that link was in the chat. Thanks for putting that out there. They're stacking up again into turn 2. Turn 3, off of turn 2. Oh my goodness, Junior again on the apron. He tried to go low to miss everybody. That thing spun like a top and then right back in the same direction in a hurry. Caution number 4 in the race now. Junior's been in all of them. Well, that one I saved. The other 3 I did not. That was a spin. That wasn't a crash that time. I saved it. Screw it. I'm taking tires. I know I was way too low. I was trying to get around as many cars as I could and like slide up the track in front of them. I just spun out instead. These cars are super edgy. If you couldn't tell. It makes even... Well, I'd consider myself a really good player of NASCAR video games. This game is making me look like a chump some of the time. Green flag back in the air. The apron's not as bad in this game compared to NASCAR 05, believe it or not. The problem is the cars are edgier in this game. And that's where I'm having an issue. I like how it still shows that Kurt Busch is my rival on the bottom left. Fourth yellow of the race. I don't believe it's going to be the last one. We've been seeing some stack-ups towards the back of the field on restarts. Junior is ready for it this time, though. We saw quite a bit in the truck race last night. We're starting to see it after we finally had that first yellow after a long green flag run to start the race off of nearly 70 laps in this Cup event. Got off turn 2 pretty well that time. We'll see if they're able to do it a bit better the next lap. Tony Stewart's still out in front of the field. He's getting a lot of laps led in right now. A lot of 2x2 action. I'd have to imagine there's quite a bit of 3-wide action going on in the middle of that pack somewhere. Maybe this will be a much calmer restart finally, and guys will start to take it maybe a little easier. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. One car gripped the apron. Or at least half his car down on the white line through 3 and 4 to take it 3 wide in the middle of the pack. They did not stack up that time. Junior can't get to the inside of Terry Labonte right now. Labonte's throwing some big blocks all the way down the front stretch. 3 wide off the exit of turn 2. And they made it again. Junior went low just out of a safety precaution there. He wasn't sure if they were going to make the exit of the corner. They're definitely going 3 wide quite a bit now. Jimmy Spencer's a rival of the 8 of Dale Jr. right now as well. Jr. looking low on the front stretch. Terry Labonte going to go up the middle, 3 wide. Jr. gets around Labonte, flirted with spinning himself out off the front of the 5. Hate being in traffic in this game. Big closing rate off turn 4 for Dale Jr. to the back bumper of the 50. Jimmy Spencer. Spencer would likely try to wreck Dale Jr. when Jr. actually gets to the inside of the 50 of Spencer. Off turn 2, Jr. is underneath Jimmy. Dale Jr. is also going to get to the inside of the 0-8 of Shane Meal, and he gets around Jimmy Spencer cleanly. Now Scott Riggs is a rival just up ahead. Just a few cars ahead of Dale Jr. Yeah, Kurt Busch is going to be a rival. I think Biffle might be a rival from Vegas still. Schrader, Jeff Burke going way up the track. Dale Jr. diamonds a corner off. He goes 3 wide to the bottom again. Into turn 3, 3 wide. Jr. on the apron. That time it did not spin out. Oh, Burton got the wall off of turn 4 and bounced right into Earnhardt just a bit. They're still side by side into turn 1. Now Burton's cleared. Jr. actually lost more momentum than the 31. Drives it in deep into 3. Gets around Ken Schrader in the 49 car. I also hate having to pause it for this. Didn't mess my rhythm up that time, luckily. Earnhardt has caught Scott Riggs into turn 1. He'll sit behind him for now. Find a way to try to get around him. I don't know if intimidating Scott Riggs is the right move. I don't think intimidating him is working. Doesn't seem to be. Earnhardt under Riggs. Off turn 2. Junior's backing out of the gas. He's going to let Riggs go into 3. Riggs did not take a shot of him on the back straightaway, and if he was going to take a shot of him in the middle of the corner, I don't think Junior was going to hang on. He doesn't want to risk DNFing in this race right now. 3 wide under Riggs, and again he backs out of the gas into turn 1. Dropped way out of the way to do so. He's flirting with disaster when he runs alongside the 10 car of Scott Riggs. Get some shell gas in Indy. Longtime Penske sponsor, of course. Riggs squeezes Earnhardt. Side by side on the front stretch. Dale Jr.'s there. He's going to try to clear him into turns 1 and 2 and does with a clean pass. Very fortunate Scott Riggs did not try to wreck Dale Jr. when Jr. made the pass on him. Jr. overdrove the corner just trying to get around him, but at least he got around him. Back to clean racing now, and the car's in front of him. The car is definitely getting edgier much earlier into the run. Oh, wow, that was a big block as well by the generated driver in the 178 car right in front of Dale Jr. Jr. with a run on the front stretch again. Looks low into turn 1. Goes up the track a bit. And pulls clear. 3 wide on the back straightaway now and heading into turn 3 right in front of Dale Jr. Kenny Wallace on the bottom. Jeremy Mayfield up high. I'm not sure who was in the middle. Actually, 45 car. Kyle Petty was the one in the middle lane. Junior trying to make his way through the field. He spun out and saved it from hitting anything to bring out the 4th caution of the race that put him back in traffic as he was able to replace tires. But obviously at a cost of track position. He was in 6th at the time of the spin. Trying to make a pass on the outside of Kyle Petty right now. Not going to be able to complete it before making his way into turns 1 and 2. Middle of the corner, he's going to slide down in front of Petty clear. We are over 100 laps in, 4 cautions so far tonight. Tony Stewart leads. Dale Jr. qualified on the pole, led a lot of laps early. Has not led since the first stops of the day during green flag conditions, when he made his stop at lap 65 from the lead. He didn't lead all 65 laps to start the race, but played quite a few. Chances of winning right now, we have a long ways to go. I just can't spin out again. I mean, it's just plain and simple. It costs so much track position. This car does not handle as well in dirty air. Clean air, it handles beautifully. Dirty air, it is not handling well at all. Kind of noticed that from practice, even with the adjustment changes, and it's still risky in the race, too. Big hold your breath moment off turn 4 with Kenny Wallace on the outside. What got tangled together. Mark Truex Jr.'s lost a lot of spots from the start of the race. He also qualified in the top 3 rows, started in 6th, and he's all the way back outside the top 25 himself as well. So Michael Waltrip, the highest of the 3 DEI Chevrolets right now. Probability of 10%. Why not 8%? It's a do it for Dale series after all. Got 8% chance of winning. How about that? I still feel confident that we can get it done. I'm not worried. I trust my abilities with this race car. I'm not going to make another mistake the rest of this race. I really hope those words don't age poorly, but hopefully those words age like a fine wine, and Dale Jr. is able to just keep the car clean the rest of the race to get a solid finish. That's all I hope for out of this. It's good points day. We've gotten our win out of the gate, at least in the Cup Series side early. And if we're going to want to battle for a championship, we're going to need a lot more consistency. Because right now, one top 10 in the first 3 races, with it being that win at California, is not going to cut it. Coming off a 26th place finish at Las Vegas in the last race. That one was just poor pit strategy. I mean, Junior had a top 5 car. maybe not a race-winning car, but he definitely had a top 5 car. Today he's got a potential race-winning car. Slide job from Dale Jr. pulling across the nose of the 00. The Michael Waltrip Racing Chevrolet. Kenny Wallace. Hard to the inside of rookie Jason Leffler now into turn 1. Jason Mears on the 41, pulling down right on top of the 8 of Dale Jr. and 3 and 4. Jr. never lifted any extra though. Didn't let that bother him. Held on well in the dirty air that time, all over the back of the 41 through 3 and 4. Hooks the bottom, makes the pass on Mears for 24. So he's slowly making his way through the field. Again, it's going to be a long work in progress. I think there's a bit of contact off turn 2 up ahead. Is that Jimmy Johnson running outside the top 20 right now? He was up towards the front at the start of the race too and has really faltered. Yeah, Johnson 23rd. He finished 2nd in this race in real life. He is definitely off the pace as far as the Hendrick Chevys are concerned. Rookie Kyle Busch is outrunning him by quite a bit. At least a few positions. No stack-ups off that last restart, by the way, and I think that definitely works itself out. Junior was so good in that first run when it was just a long green flag run. We got through a set of pit stops. He's hoping we can do the same here. Just get back to settling in. If we get cautions, hopefully it's because of other drivers getting involved. Not him bringing out the yellow for a spin. This Kyle Busch just got passed by Jimmy Johnson a couple laps ago, and now Dale Jr. is looking to do the same. Underneath the 5. Rusty Wallace in the 2 in his final season. We'll see Kurt Busch take over the 2 car, leaving Roush Fenway. And Jamie McMurray will go to Roush Fenway, not in the 97, but in the 26. Junior to the inside of Wallace, off turn 4. And he'll look to make the pass down into turns 1 and 2. Should be able to clear. All clear. We'll take our first field pass of the race and see what the other DEI cars are up to. We'll go back to Martin Truex Jr. right now in the 1 car. He is in 30th and still free falling in this one. Oh, Jesus. Almost turned Boris said right in the middle of turns 1 and 2. He had a big run on him going into the corner. Truex going to get to the outside of the 36. And makes the pass on the outside of Boris said. Just ran over him in the first lap in the 1 car, and then the second lap we make the pass on the outside. Truex is making up some spots on the bottom right now. Getting around there. Ooh, 3 wide on the backstretch now underneath Casey Mears, who's way on the outside. Jason Leffler in the middle. Truex has a fast car. He is a rookie, though. Could be part of the struggle. And Casey Mears just lost about 3 or 4 spots off turn 4 as he got into the outside wall. Definitely allowing Truex to close in on Dale Earnhardt Jr. up ahead. Might be able to get around Kyle Busch this lap. In the 5 car for Hendrick Motorsports. Truex is there. Blows right around Busch. We'll go take a look at what Michael Waltrip in the 15 car is doing right now. He's just outside the top 10. Waltrip currently in the 12th place position on the racetrack. He's 24th in points coming into the race. The only 2 DEI cars in the top 10 in the point standings. Dale Jr. in 10th and then Mark Truex Jr. in 8th through the first 3 races. So Waltrip's still searching for his first top 10 of the season as well. Currently trying to get around the 21 of Ricky Rudd for 11th. With the cars going side by side up ahead as well. We'll see if we can get Waltrip into the top 5 before we go back to Dale Jr. Waltrip underneath of Rudd. Makes the pass for 11th. Nice and clean. We'll go back to Dale Jr. on the next lap, so I don't think Waltrip's going to get in the top 5. Not even quite the top 10, but he's back in the battle for it. Oh my goodness, Dale Jarrett, sorry. A big block on Matt Kenseth in the 17. Waltrip looks low, makes the pass on Mike Bliss to move inside the top 10, and now going to get around Matt Kenseth as well. So Dale Jr. up to 20th right now as we go back in the pack just a little bit further in traffic. Johnson with a big block going into turn 1 in front of Dale Jr. Junior sandwiched right now pretty tightly with the 43 directly behind him of Jeff Green and Jimmy Johnson right in front of him. Maybe Dale Jr. really nowhere to go. Mark, I believe you meant Mike Bliss. Bliss is in the 0 car in this game in his rookie season. And we have some of the leaders pitting this time off turn 4, so some short pitting going on. Martin Truex Jr., one of the cars to hit pit road. Our second set of green flag pit stops on the night. Johnson is blocking the heck out of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Of course, these two are not teammates at this time period in NASCAR. Jr. would not go to race for Hendrick Motorsports until 2008. It's the 05 season. Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car's entire HMS and NASCAR career. That gas tank over halfway. I don't think Junior's going to pit too out of sequence with these guys. I think he's going to try to stay on the same strategy. Even with some of the drivers short pitting right now. Johnson trying to side draft the 8. Dale Earnhardt Jr. Jimmy not going to be able to pit that time. I don't know if he wanted to or not. Junior clears him off turn 4. Tony Stewart pitted from the lead, and that's why Carl Edwards is back out in front. Oh, Earnhardt got the wall a bit off turn 4. Jimmy gonna try to test the outside for 1 and 2 to get around Dale Jr. Jr. stays in front of him though. The outside did not work for Johnson. Jr. just has too quick of a car. Jimmy to pull that off. It would have worked if Dale Jr. had a lot slower speed getting into the corner. Ryan Newman now out in front. Carl Edwards just pitted from the lead that last lap. Michael Waltrip's on his way in. Newman gonna pit this time. Johnson pits from behind. And Dale Jr. back out in the lead once again at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the first time since green flag pit stops the first time today. The third time everybody is taking fuel and tires right now. Everybody pitted during caution flags earlier for fuel and tires. Dale Jr. under the most recent yellow, everybody else under the second caution. And that string of 4 cautions that we had pretty much back to back to back to back. Junior could stay out, lead a few more laps, but he doesn't want to give up too much time. He's already back in traffic right now. He could bank on there being a caution. He's not going to. Junior's going to pit that lap 148 this time by and make his 3rd stop of the day. Got a quarter tank of gas left right now. Right front definitely wearing out a bit more though. And Dale Jr. will be on his way in. Off turn 4. Doesn't want to speed and does not. 4 tires and fuel for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Just going to make sure he tops off. No adjustment changes for right now during the 3rd stop of the day. 19 likes on the stream. Our goal is 50 tonight, so be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Still in the first half of our Golden Corral 500 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway tonight. Hicker's on it today, 3 for 3. Clean stops, 2 under green, 1 under caution. Junior's going to cycle out in 24th. He was in 20th when the pit stop started, so he lost 4 spots, stayed out longer than everybody else on fuel and tires that time. Currently 10.3 seconds off the lead. Carl Edwards is the leader following green flag pit stops, just shy of lap 50. Don't forget, we'll have a trivia question when we get to the halfway mark in tonight's race as well. I do have it ready, so I won't have to pause an extra time for it. Good for me and good for you guys. Keep this race flowing. It's already a longer one as it is, a 500-mile race on a 1.5 miles. Quite a bit of them in this time period of NASCAR. We're eliminating some of them with 50% races. We did that at California in the second race of the year. That was supposed to be a 500-mile race. And it was only 250 miles. I believe our next one's going to be at Texas for the Cup Series, as far as the mile and halves at least, the 50% races. Think you're way better than that one Poké. Oh yeah, you're talking about NASCAR 21 Ignition? That game's a joke anyway. Freaking joke. Yep, we're almost halfway. I think it's closer to a 6-stop race with everybody pitting during the cautions earlier. Kind of wondered how that was going to play a factor. It was looking like a 5-stop race originally, and then we just had 4 cautions and kind of split the strategy up a bit. Everybody's back on the same strategy again, though. .29.2 that last lap for Dale Jr. He's got clean air in front of him for right now. Kyle Busch right behind him in the 5 car. To say, it doesn't seem like Dale Jr. is really pulling away from him either. 29.202 that last lap for Dale Earnhardt Jr. One car blowing up, that's going to be another position. Going into turns 1 and 2. Terry Labonte has blown an engine, so never mind, that won't be another spot for Dale Jr. As Dale Earnhardt Jr. had already gotten around Labonte. Labonte was one of the cars towards the rear of the field anyway. I have to say, though, again, Junior's running similar time as the leaders. That's why he led a lot of laps from the pole earlier. The problem is right now is because he's back in traffic and he's so equal with the leaders on speed, he's not making an adjustment change to make this car a little edgier and a little bit faster because he still feels it's too early in the race to do that. He doesn't want to risk spinning out and not saving it next time and risk DNFing. And a battle for consistency to try to make it into the chase at the end of the regular season. Maybe be a little bit more aggressive at the end of the regular season on that kind of strategy call with setups once he locks his way in to try and go for wins, but not right now. The win does not guarantee you a spot. Keeper closes on the 43 car of Jeff Green. Green blocking Junior quite a bit on the backstretch, now into turns 3 and 4. Junior sits behind him, looks low, off turn 4 on the front stretch. Junior on the inside, Jeff Green up high. And Junior will have the advantage on the bottom and make the pass on the 43 car in the Petty Enterprise Dodge. Lap 163 will be the trivia tonight. Yep, that will be the halfway mark in this race. It's 21 likes on the stream now. Almost halfway there, we're almost halfway home. Oscar Ramirez Herrera, welcome to the stream. Let's go Dale Jr. Get the win. We'll see. Got to be smart. He wasn't smart probably the start of the second third of this race is when got a little edgy for him. He's still in it. Car doesn't really have any damage. Other than loss of track position. That's all he's really having to battle. And Dale Jr. does have pretty good long run speed in the car too, and the longer this run goes, it seems like he's slowly catching up to Edwards, but obviously a lot of cars between him and Edwards right now, make it a bit harder. Edwards trying to replicate history and win this race just like he did in real life. Joe Nemechek with a pretty big block into turn 3 on the bottom in front of Dale Jr. Jr. looking low on the front stretch, trying to get around the 0-1 of Nemechek. And he definitely has the bottom lane as they enter into turns 3 and 4, and he'll make the pass on him. McMurray up high as well, getting passed by Rusty Wallace. Dale Jr. will sit in line behind him right now. Time for tonight's trivia question on the channel. And our trivia question in the Golden Corral 500 at Atlanta is an Atlanta Motor Speedway based question. In 2005, Carl Edwards not only got his first career win at Atlanta, but he actually got the Atlanta sweep, winning both the regular season and chase race. In those races, were the only 3 drivers to lead more laps than Carl Edwards at Atlanta in 2005. So again, Carl Edwards got the sweep at Atlanta, but there were 3 drivers who led more laps than in both of those races combined. Who are those 3 drivers? I do have the right answer to tonight's question. So answer down in the chat. We'll see if you guys can get it done. I may actually have to pause it to re-look at the answer just to make sure I do have the answers. Again, I want you to name all 3 of them. First person to get all 3 correct in the chat that I see at least, I'll let you guys know. And if you do not get the answer correct until lap 175, then I'll give you guys the answer. Junior needs to get back down to the bottom. Joe Nemechek in the 0-1s underneath him for now. Junior's still on the outside of Nemechek off turn 2, and he got in the wall. Quickly hopped to the bottom to try and protect his positioning. Elliott Sadler's back in traffic right now. I'm surprised. He was on the top 5 earlier. He was as high as 2nd in the running order. Must have had a pretty bad pit stop. Something during green flag stops. Maybe he had a pit road speeding penalty or something. Kind of put him back in traffic. David Pearson would be the answer. Again, who led more laps than Edwards in those 2 races in 05? There were 3 drivers who led more laps than him. Sorry if that was a little confusing. Let me pause it for a quick second. I'm just going to make sure I've got the right answer. Okay, yeah, I got it. I have it. I have it. I don't believe I've seen it correct in the chat yet, though. Richard Petty, Bobby Allison. No, again, in 2005. In the 2005 season. 3 drivers led more laps than Carl Edwards in those 2 races in 05 that Edwards won at Atlanta in his rookie season. You gotta name those 3 drivers. Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson. I'm not gonna say what answers got some of them right, so I don't want to do that. I still want to make it tough for everybody and a fair chance for everybody to get it. But if I see the right answer, I will let you guys know. Johnson, Gordon, and Harvick. Labonte, Elliott, yeah, that was a Pearson one. Biffle, Harvick, and Labonte. Interesting you guys are answering Bobby Labonte. He did not do so hot in that 2005 season. It was his last year at Joe Gibbs Racing. J.J. Yaley took over the 18. He almost won one race that year. He almost won the Coke 600. But outside of that, it was a bad season in 05 for Labonte. For the most part. I want to talk about being stuck in traffic right now. Junior is faster than this whole line of cars in front of him, but he cannot pass them. He does not want to be too aggressive and wreck the race car. Might have a shot to get around Nemechek, and it's only because Jamie McMurray just got to the inside of the 0-1. They're side drafting each other quite a bit up high. Allows for Junior to get underneath of Nemechek. And just gets to the inside of Jamie McMurray into 1 and 2. McMurray trying to crowd Dale Jr. Jr. had his nose there, and McMurray couldn't make the block in time. So worried about trying to pass the 0-1 that he held himself up as well, and Dale Jr. gets around both of them to back himself inside the top 20. See, Biffle, Kenseth Edwards, that is not correct. Again, other than Edwards, too. So Edwards won't be in the answer. 3 drivers who had more laps than Edwards in 05 at Atlanta in both races. As both races combined, meaning, like, in the separate races, if that makes any sense, too. Not like, you know, one driver led, like, 400 laps at Atlanta that year combined between the 2 races. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking specifically 2 in the first race and then 1 in the second race led more laps on him. Which were those 3 drivers? Johnson, Gordon, Earnhardt Jr. That is close. That's the closest one I've seen yet. You got one right, but the other's tricky. Kyle Busch, Jeff Gordon. Yeah, Pearson's not in the answer. I'll give you guys another 5 laps to try to get the answer correct. I'll give you guys to lap 180. It's a trickier question tonight. It's a Figueroa. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I was at the Atlanta race earlier this year. I was thoroughly impressed. As that track ages, though, I still don't know if they're going to be able to keep the same style of racing they have now with the Super Speedway package. There's a lot of grip on it for the most part right now. With the fresher asphalt, it's possible. But I still think as the years wear on that racetrack, it's not going to be the case over time. Who knows, maybe it'll race like a good mile and a half. Knowing how good the intermediate tracks are with the next-gen car, I'd be alright with it going unrestricted. I'd be alright with it now going unrestricted. I think they could do it. I don't think the speeds are going to be too outrageous. I don't think they'd be any faster than what they would be at Michigan. 215, 220 miles an hour with the Gen 6 car. I don't think it'll be like faster than that, so I don't see why it wouldn't be safe. Top speed. Dale Sr. won it? No, because Dale Sr. wasn't in the race in 2005, so he wouldn't be winning. It was only in 2005. I don't know. I keep seeing people putting answers in the question of drivers who were retired well before that. I thought I might have made a mistake in the original question, but I've tried to, like, give you guys the question, if that makes any sense. Reiterate the question, I guess, a little better. You guys are still going with drivers before 05. So it was only in the 2005 season that 3 drivers led more laps at Atlanta than Edwards. Edwards is not 4th all time, and you have to name the top 3 outside of Edwards. That's not what the questions entail. Oh, R6, Biffle, Johnson, Earnhardt. Okay, I didn't see that one. That is the correct answer. Sorry, there's so many in the chat, and this game is hard. I'm trying to keep control. That is the answer to the question. R6 got it. Greg Biffle, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Jimmy Johnson were the 3 drivers that led more laps than Carl Edwards in both Atlanta races in 2005. Jimmy Johnson and Greg Biffle finished 2nd and 3rd behind Edwards. Edwards only led 9 laps in his first career win at Atlanta. Johnson led the most that day, and then Edwards actually led the second most laps in the next race at Atlanta in the fall that he won. Dale Jr. led the most laps. Jr. finished third in that race, and Edwards won that as well. So yeah, R6 did get the question correct tonight. Referring to the pass before Edwards. I mean, Dale Jr. or Dale Sr. might have led more laps at a race. I would imagine his legendary career, he probably led over a couple hundred laps at some point. I'm sure he led more than 9 laps in a race at Atlanta. A lot of drivers have. Tries to get close since you don't follow NASCAR. Yeah, didn't you say you're more of an F1 fan or something like that? I think I remember you saying that when you first joined the channel, that you're interested in this style of, like, the commentary aspect, or you're trying to get into NASCAR. It's amazing we're halfway through the fuel and tire stint already, though. Feels like Dale Jr. just made his third stop not that long ago. It's how quick these laps go by under green flag conditions. We had a slow race pace there for a little bit with the 4 yellows, but we're back to another long green flag run again. In fact, we're closing in on about the longest green flag run of the race. Went nearly 70 laps earlier. Arntrix Jr.'s rallied right now. I don't think he's lapped down either. I think he has legitimately raced himself back inside the top 15. Dale Jr. to the inside of Matt Kenseth through 3 and 4, and he'll make his way up to 16th. But Michael Waltrip, Martin Truex Jr., and Dale Earnhardt Jr. all within 4 positions of one another. Michael Waltrip in 15th, Dale Jr. 16th, and Truex in 13th. Jr. a little loose off turn 2. Had the air taken off the rear spoiler with the 17 right in line behind him off the exit of turn 2. Waltrip goes wide. Jr. underneath him now on the front stretch, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. is back inside the top 15 for the first time in a little while now. Dirt track racing fan, gotcha. Oh, caution! I don't know why I said it like that. I said it like there was trouble in front of us. That wasn't the case. Caution is out, though. Scott Wimmer has spun in 3 and 4, backs it into the outside wall hard. Oh, 1 car up and over, 2 cars up and over. I don't know who flipped. Shane Meal flipped. And then I don't know who the second car was that flipped. But we're under caution again. Dale Jr. is going to pit from 15th. We'll see if anybody else dives on. Oh, everybody stays out. That is interesting. Dale Jr. is going to pit from 15th. He's going to take on fresh tires. No adjustments to the race car right now, but 4 tires and fuel for Dale Earnhardt Jr. following the 5th caution of the race tonight. So we were nearing the longest green flag run of the race until that yellow happened. This is fascinating. Going off strategy here. I like it. I like it. I don't like being back in traffic knowing how crazy the restarts have been in the truck race and the cup race at Atlanta this weekend. We still have to do the Busch race here sometime next week. Maybe tomorrow night, only if the truck race gets rained out. Again, I will be doing live commentary for the truck race tomorrow night. So the 22 of you watching, be sure to tune in to tomorrow night's race. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the truck race is supposed to start. But if they do get rained out, I will run the Busch race on NASCAR 6 tomorrow. So there's rain in the forecast for the truck race in Concord tomorrow night. Green flag back in the air. Dale Jr. was not the only car on pit road. Actually, Scott Wimmer pitted, and Shane Meal, who had flipped, also pit. So 3 drivers will be on fresh tires right now at the back of the pack. The top 37 all stayed out. And Tony Stewart is going to get around Carl Edwards quickly on the restart to regain the race lead through 3 and 4. Tyler Burback, welcome to the stream. I am pumped for the Indy 500. If it makes you wonder how pumped I am for the race, anytime I go to a race for the race weekend, the week doesn't really drag. It usually drags when I get back, just from like travel and having a few extra days off of work during the week, on the weekend at least, of the races that I go to. But Tuesday and Wednesday drag for me just because of how excited I am, and I can't wait for Sunday, or at least the trip to start on Saturday. But yeah, those 2 days drag for me at work. I'm sure tomorrow will also. So that was the 4th stop of the race for Dale Jr. during that 5th yellow. Going off strategy, pitting, and now he's definitely going to stay out a lot longer than everybody else this time. We're past halfway on fuel. I would imagine these guys can't go another 30 laps on fuel before they pit. It's going to get Dale Jr. a lot of laps led, and if he can get another timely caution after everybody else pits and traps a lot of the field a lap down, that is going to be huge. Then he can just go and take fresh tires on again. I just have a feeling Dale Jr. is ahead of the strategy game right now. And that's a good sign of things to come, considering we're in the second half of this race. My caution for Wimmer spinning definitely seems to have helped the 8 car. Busy weekend to watch, Keegan? Well, thank you. Yeah, race highlight video on Sunday night during the Coke 600 of the Indy 500 race highlights from the grandstands. Definitely won't want to miss it. I may vlog that trip as well. Oh, one car just got in the wall on the outside. Dale Jr. did not want to go to the outside of the 36 that Boris said, but he ended up there. Scott Riggs is on the high side as well, towards the back of the pack right now. He got stacked up. Junior just had nowhere to go. He's trying to get back down to the bottom. He's going to take it 3 wide into 3. Risky play going to the inside like this, but he did not want to be side by side with Riggs, and having set in the middle, that allowed for Junior to get by with some clean passes. Plus he has fresher tires, so a little bit more grip. Definitely allowed him to blow past these cars, especially at the back of the pack. They were 3, nearly 4 wide. Now they're down to 3 wide into turns 3 and 4. They were really fanning out on the back straightaway a little bit further up towards the front of the field. And I thought for a second they were going to actually take that gamble. We saw 4 wide not work out earlier, and we saw a crash off a restart. I would imagine they've learned from their mistakes, but as we get later and later in the race, drivers are going to get maybe a little bit more desperate. Even middle of the pack. Pause it for a quick second. Just to, I hate pausing it, but I have to do this just to get some reports going down in the chat on the 4-letter B words. You guys that were here at the beginning of the stream know what I'm talking about. Or paying attention to the chat probably know what I'm talking about too. Don't mention the name now. Not that that seems to matter, but don't mention it. So we're looking low. Jeff Burton in the 31 squeezing Dale Jr., and he actually made a clean block. Burton gets around the 00 of Kenny Wallace as well. Dale Jr. to the inside of Jeff Burton into turn 1. Yeah, if you guys see me there, you're more than welcome to say hi. Obviously, David Land I know is going to be there. Winval usually goes to Indy. He's going to go 3 wide down low again. Going to get around Casey Mears and Jeff Green. Kyle Busch is going to pull the pit road all by himself. I don't know if maybe he had an engine or a tire going down, something there, but Kyle Busch peeled off the racetrack a little earlier than expected. Maybe he didn't like the way all the racing was going on middle of the pack following the restart and wanted to be the first to pit road. I don't blame him. And we have more cars pitting this time, so I think that was the case. Drivers are short pitting. right about that window to make it on 2 stops to the end of the race. Martin Truex Jr. on his way in. Ooh. You almost have to be ahead of the eventual slide to be able to hang on to it. That might not have looked like much, but that's how Dale Jr. spun on his own through 3 and 4 earlier today, bringing out the 4th caution when he just barely, and I mean barely, clipped the white line. He saved it the first time in a complete 360, but he didn't have to go the full 360 route that time. Wait, when did I get my first live stream season? That's an interesting question. I have no clue. I mean, NASCAR would have been NASCAR Heat 4. I think I was racing as Matt Benedetto, if I remember right. And I didn't even live stream every race that season either. That was a weird season. Like, when I was first starting the channel, I was pretty much only live streaming the big races of the season, and then I would just kind of upload everything else. Then as I started slowly getting more views on the live streams, I'm like, you know what, maybe I should just live stream every race. That and people that were commenting in the chat, the very early subscribers of the channel, were like, why don't you just show the full race like the other ones? Because they wanted to see the full race. I'm like, alright, I guess I'll do that. And ever since then, just kind of stuck. But yeah, I don't remember who I was driving as. Well, I think I was driving as Benedetto, but I have no clue how many ones I had. That was 2 years ago now, I can't remember. Probably ended that season right around 2 years ago now. Definitely started it during Speed Weeks in 2020s. It is, been on the channel for a little while now. Yeah, no caution, BJ McClellan. That was just... we had a couple good moments out of that, but that was a lot more anticlimactic than what I thought it was going to be. This game with no cautions would be just downright insane. Or NASCAR Thunder 04 or something like that. I would not win the championship. There's no way. I'm struggling now with cautions. Without yellows, I wreck, it's over. Already have to be patient. I already, make it hard on myself when I do spin. Not only you're losing track position, but I don't take fuel or tires when I get in wrecks or cause an accident to keep me the race clean. Jr. making a pass on Elliott Sadler through 3 and 4. Again, Dale Jr. on fresher tires than those who have not made a green flag pit stop yet. Everybody pitting under green flag conditions. These are their 4th stops of the race. Dale Jr. made his 4th stop during the caution a little earlier. Right around lap 183. No caution season with NASCAR. No, I mean, that would probably be the easier of the EA Sports games that we've played so far, but I still think that'd just be too difficult. I don't think I'd win the championship because it's a season-long format. It's not playoff format, so I just don't think it would happen. If I had to guess how many wins, I'm going to go 16. I feel like I've always been in the teens, for the most part, wins in a season. Sometimes I'm in the low teens, sometimes I'm in the high teens. I don't think I've had 20 in a season yet. I feel like if I did, I'd remember it. 22? I had 22? Well, never mind. I guess I exceeded my expectations. kind of words of wisdom for myself. If you put the expectations for yourself on anything you're trying to strive in life lower, and if you set the bar lower or within reasonable expectation that, yeah, I can easily get there, you're going to have a lot more success at that thing you're doing. Plus, it's a good way of just trying to stay humble through everything, too. I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing with the YouTube channel, in a sense. But I do that with a lot of things in life, too, that I try to work really hard at. It keeps you from getting your hopes up, too. Don't get me wrong, I've got my hopes up on stuff before, but... still gives you that shock of when crazy and great things happen, that you still get the shock of those things happening, too. It's one thing to dream big, but the goals you set to dream big, it takes a long time to get there. Mark DeMar said 5. Yeah, it was a cup season, so I knew it was a longer season. I was kind of thinking 16 to 18. I went with the lower number of the two that were in my head. Again, Dale Jr. has about a 10-second lead right now. 3 cars are still on the lead lap that all pitted during caution number 5. Dale Jr., Scott Wimmer, and Shane Neal all hit pit road during the yellow flag. The entire field right now, outside of those 3, are a lap down. Jr. getting some laps let in. This is big. Try to get him potentially 10 bonus points. He did lead a lot of laps very early in the race, but he really hasn't led many since. I think he only led 2 laps during green flag pit stops the last time. This time he's obviously going to lead a lot more than that. We haven't alternated through the different camera angles for the first time in the race yet, so we'll do that when we get back to the start-finish line this time by. At the Atlanta Motor Speedway. I notice it feels like the sound got a lot louder when I advanced to this camera angle too. Like all the sound effects, you can kind of hear the tires screeching a little bit more in the middle of the corner. Using up that extra rubber and just the overall engine sound a lot louder. Kind of the same way in the in-car cam too. Making another report. For those of you pausing when I don't, or for those of you wondering why I pause it, just know placing some reports. 4-letter B words. I don't want to explain myself every time, but I feel like with new viewers popping in for the first time, they may wonder, why'd you just pause it for a second? That would be why for future reference, because I usually don't pause it. The only other time I can think of when I pause it is if I ever forget the trivia question. I need to look it up midway through the race, but that'd be about it. Definitely driving great though for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Again, no pressure behind him right now either. Just hit halfway on fuel a couple laps ago. So he'll probably go a little less than 30 more laps before he ends up making his 5th pit stop of the race. Real sensation of the speed in this in-car camera as well. Last couple laps, he's gotten a little loose off the exit of turn 2. Jesus. Every time I unpause it, it's amazing how much I get out of my rhythm, though. Like it feels like I don't have any control of the race car sometimes, even when it looks like I have control. Or at least on that first corner entry following it, it's like, well, I hope it turns. I hope it doesn't turn too much. Rhythm's so big when you're doing these full races and the handling starts to go away, especially in the second half of the run. God bless America, yes. Just less than 100 laps to go at the Atlanta Motor Speedway tonight. Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads the Golden Corral 500. Live on KRC. Wade Solinsky, welcome to the stream. No problem, man. Thanks for tuning in, though. Just in time for the final 97 laps. Jr. with a 13.6 second lead. Scott Wimmer, Dale Jr., Shane Meal will end up making their first, will end up pitting, I guess, for the 5th time first, because they all pitted during the last caution flag that came out at about lap 183. Everybody else stayed out of the pits. kind of calmly waiting for the next stop. And calmly waiting to see if we get a caution before Dale Jr. pits. That would leave only 3 cars on the lead lap. That'd be huge for Scott Wimmer and Shane Meal. Considering that those are 2 drivers that don't usually run up in the front, especially on a 1.5 miles. Front burning off above the 8 of Dale Jr. right now. Little turns 3 and 4. This is really where we've seen the car kind of take off right rear, now in the yellow as well. You can definitely see the cars closing in on fresher tires out of the rearview mirror of Dale Jr. a little bit further back. I agree, R6, especially if we have any young viewers watching this on a nightly basis, too. I have no control over any of that. Obviously, if I did, I would ban it. And you guys know that... I mean, I don't even really cuss myself. Let alone the stuff that we see in the chat. With those 4-letter B words. Oh, wow. Looks like we almost had a wreck off turn 4 that last lap. That would have been huge. We stay green. There's some smoke. Just didn't get a caution. We'll go back to the far chase cam at least until we get to our next pit stop now. I know, and that's what I don't understand, why we're banning them individually, and they keep showing up on the channel. Like, sometimes, like, I'll go to ban them, and it'll say that they're already, like, hidden, and that they're already banned, and that's what doesn't make any sense. Like, how did those ones keep coming back? Especially. There's a loophole. Unless I get unbanned after a certain amount of time, that wouldn't make any sense. Quarter tank of fuel left for the 8 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. right now. Leaders are definitely closing in on him. Going to try to get their laps back. There's no way Jr. is going to be able to hold on to his race car enough to keep those guys behind him. Do not wreck the race car if you're Dale Jr. Don't get pressured. Don't get pressured. Probably the most the tires have slipped out from under the car when he's been in clean air all day long. That would be the perfect time for the caution. I don't think it's possible for Dale Jr. to get... Yeah, there's no way. There's no way he's going to be able to get to 65 laps to go. That's another 20 laps he's going to have to go on fuel if he's going to want to make it on just one more stop. Try to outclass the field there. It's a really long ways to go. Goes up the track quite a bit there as well. Into turns 1 and 2. Jeff Gordon would technically be in 4th place right now, considering Scott Wimmer and Shane Meal still on the lead lap. Of course, one of these drivers could get the free pass position if a caution came out. Jeff Gordon trying to go to the outside of Dale Earnhardt Jr. Left a lot of bottom open, though, for Jimmy Johnson. Jr. gets loose off turn 2. Great job keeping it off the wall. He's going to have to be careful here. No! Not what he needed. In the wall on the outside with Jeff Gordon. Heavy contact with the 24 car. Cars racing by to the inside. No caution. We stay green. Dale Jr. overcorrected, getting a bit loose with cars side by side behind him, and Gordon, who was trying to get around Jr. up high. The one who really struggled there. Very lucky a caution did not come out in that transition, because again, if Dale Jr. is involved in a yellow, he can't pit for fuel or tires. See what I mean? Like, right there. I tried to ban them while they were still in the chat. And it says that they were already banned. Junior's just going to have to be careful, especially the cars underneath him. On the outside, in the wall. These guys get all over the back bumper of the 8, and it just gets him even looser. Taking the air off the rear spoiler of the race car has to be a thing in this game, because he was not this loose until traffic caught up to him from behind. And Dale Jr. has not been this loose at all today, even on long green flag runs and on old tire stints. And Jeff Gordon's the next car in line behind the 8. He may be arrived. Sorry, no, Gordon is not. 21 car Ricky Rudd is the next car in line behind Dale Jr. Jr. just ran a 29.2 that last lap again. It was a pretty good lap. That time he just got loose on his own off turn 2. He didn't get the air taken off the spoiler because Ricky Rudd ran the outside. Jr. wiggles, up the track he goes. Feathering the throttle up high, just trying to keep it off the cars to the bottom. Jeff Gordon got around him. I had no clue that was Gordon trying to get around the 8 of Dale Jr. that time. Jr. going to let his teammate Michael Waltrip go. Waltrip going wide, though, through turns 3 and 4, and Dale Jr. is going to get right back underneath him. Very lucky Jeff Gordon did not try to take a swing at the 8. Junior trying to get around Michael Waltrip in the 15 again. Junior may have to consider I guess the last time he was on this old of tires, he had relatively clean air, which I wasn't really thinking about. Obviously, he does not have clean air anymore. Just really can't wreck the car here. Whew. They were nearly 3 wide off the exit of turn 4 right around him. Using a lot of brakes, a lot of letting out of the gas. A lot of left to right with the left analog stick and the steering in the corners. "75 laps to go. Dale Jr. is about 10 laps short on fuel. He's going to pit this time by. 4 tires and gas for Dale Jr. Pretty low fumes right now, but he will pit. And Junior has made it to the end of the run. Barely, but he made it. He did not wreck the race car this time. Did not speed entering pit road. 4 tires and fuel. And they're going to make more adjustments here. Going to drop the air pressure 1 pound. Going to add a half a round of wedge to the race car. So those are the adjustments for Dale Jr. to try and help in traffic on the longer run. Again, he was handling fine until the traffic caught him and he got put in dirty air again. Then he wasn't having great handling with the car. When he was in clean air on those older tires, it was fine. So again, Dale Jr. 10 laps short on fuel. Gonna cycle off pit road pretty far back. Casey Kane's gonna be the leader following these pit stops. So Casey Kane in the lead. And now Dale Jr.'s on fresher tires trying to cut into that deficit. 19.7 seconds off the lead as he gets up to speed. We'll see if the adjustment changes that Dale Jr. made during that green flag stop are going to help him. There's another clean stop for the 18 today. Only 10 laps short. I don't think he's going to take 4 tires on that last stop. If he does have to pit under green flag conditions again. Depends how much time he's going to make up on the leaders here. It's going to be interesting to see if he's even going to be a full lap ahead of the rest of the field again. He's going to have to be careful getting around the 10 car of Scott Riggs. Off the exit of turn 2, Dale Jr. looking to the outside. I don't think that's a wise decision to pass Riggs up here. He's going to try it. Hold your breath. 1 car blowing up. He'll get to pit road. No caution. We stay green. Bit of a mistake off turn 4 on the outside for Dale Jr. Swinging down to the bottom. 3 wide. It's going to put Riggs up high. And Jr. will get around Borisset and Scott Riggs for 28th. Tony Stewart to the lead at the front of the field. Just got around Casey Kane. Kane trying to go for his first career win in his second season. In real life in 2004, he did not get a win in his rookie year. Came close many times. Unfortunately, just couldn't break through. Never saw Edwards get his first career win this season. I think Kyle Busch is going to get a win before the end of the year in his rookie year. I think Kane will definitely compete for wins. He seemed to win 1 or 2 races every season in our NASCAR 05 Cup Series, the 2 seasons we did there. So I think he'll definitely get at least 1 in this NASCAR 06 season. I don't think Junior's quite as fast with the setup change, though, either. Staying glued to the track on the short run, but again, it was earlier, too. He just really needs to handle it on the long runs, especially if he doesn't take tires on this last stop of the race. Not a fuel strategy race today, but it is a strategy race when Dale Jr. pitted during that 5th caution for Scott Wimmer, pitting a little earlier on. Again, Wimmer, Meal, and Dale Jr. on a different strategy. Everybody has to pit one more time to the end of the race now. Dale Jr. was able to get a lot of laps led with that strategy. Unfortunately, after making the stop, because he was on older tires much longer than everybody else on the racetrack, cycled out to 31st. It's up to 28th. He passed 2 cars after coming off the pit road recently, and then one driver ended up blowing an engine. Fuel window is open to the end of the race, though, now. 65 laps to go in the Golden Corral 500 at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Junior closing in on the 77 car now of Travis Quaffle. Quaffle right in front of Earnhardt, holding them up through 3 and 4. Junior to the inside of Quaffle now on the front stretch. Just saw the first of the drivers hit pit road that time off of turn 4. Junior slides up in front of the 77 clear. Again, pit window open to the end of the race now. Michael Waltrip is in this time. Will this race stay green to the end? I mean, we are currently at the longest green flag run of the race at almost, actually exactly 80 laps since the last caution. So this is the longest green flag run so far. Mikey, welcome to the stream. Again, Junior does not have to pit again until 10 laps to go. If he stays on the track and hope for a caution late, that could definitely help him. Then he could come down and take tires under the yellow, and there wouldn't be many cars on the lead lap either. Nearly had a couple accidents that weren't involving Dale Jr. during the last green flag run. The last yellow we did have was a spin from Scott Wimmer on his own at lap 183. So the hope is definitely there. It's the final time we're going to alternate through the different camera angles in tonight's race. Still have to do one more field pass yet as well. Do that a bit later. Mark Church Jr. now in the pits. "13 cars ahead of Dale Jr. still have to hit pit road. Walter got held up on the outside getting into turn 3. One of the Ray Emberham Dodges was coming off of pit road. Couldn't tell if that was Casey Kane or Jeremy Mayfield. They had the same exact paint scheme, so it's kind of hard to tell sometimes. Yep, player DNFs are on in this game. This is an easy game to DNF in. Jimmy Johnson leading, I believe, for the first time today during green flag pit stops. Staying out on the track a little bit longer than everybody else, trying to get the 5 bonus points. Dale Jr. underneath Michael Waltrip in the 15 car right now. Into turns 1 and 2. Jr. sliding a bit wide. Off the exit of the corner, dives back down to the bottom. 3 wide off the exit of turn 2. I believe that's Mayfield on the outside, and then in the middle lane right now is the 31 of Jeff Burton. A little narrow through 3 and 4, but Junior makes the pass. So the car is a little bit better after the adjustment changes, but how much better is the question? Is he good enough to pace himself well on older tires to win this race if he goes fuel only on the last stop? Or if we get a caution, of course, and he can keep most of the field a lap down, hopefully, is the plan. Casey Mears in the 41, cycling out of the pits right in front of Junior. Junior didn't have to get held up at all there, though, so that's good for him. Sits right in line behind the 41 car on the front stretch. Drives to the inside of Mears off turn 2. Matt Kenseth still on the track. He's leading laps for the first time today. Junior underneath the 41 of Mears. He'll clear him through 3 and 4. Actually closing in on Mark Truex Jr. up ahead as well. Kenseth still on the track. Junior in second. Kenseth still on the racetrack. He is the last lead lap car that still has to pit other than Dale Jr. in second, who clipped the apron, still fishtailing down the back straightaway. That was off the exit of turn 2 when he clipped it. He's going to use those tires up a little bit anytime he gets really loose like that. Again, he's going to have to ask to go 10 laps further on this run with the tires than any other run he has had to go this entire race so far. When do you make that stop if you're Dale Jr.? Do you just run it as far as you can? Or when do you go fuel only? Kenseth's still out on the track. He is really pushing this tank as far as he can right now. A little less than 15 seconds ahead of Dale Jr. And he stayed out of the pits again that last time by. Junior can get around the 1 and the 21 in front of him. Then he is going to have a lot of clean air in front of that. Gets to the inside of Rudd through 1 and 2. Truex went a bit wide. Rudd got stuck behind him. Dale Jr. clears Ricky Rudd. Drives it into turns 3 and 4. Clears Mark Truex Jr. up high as well. Matt Kenseth is on pit road. Dale Jr. to the lead at Atlanta. The third or fourth different time today, Jr. is out in front. 49 laps to go at the line. Dale Jr. has about a 19.3 second lead. The problem with that 19.36. Man, I don't know. I think you stay out and hope for a caution. Then again, it could be a bigger lead than that over the eventual second place driver. Considering that, again, Shane Meal and Scott Wimmer also stayed off the pit road for a long time. Unless they have short pitted and have already made their final stop. We're just unaware of that right now. We're back to the far chase cam for the rest of the race. 46 laps to go at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Strategy race right now. Junior going to make an extra stop to the end with the strategy, but that's because he pitted during the last caution. Go up the track a bit. Turns 3 and 4. We'll see where Michael Waltrip's at. Take our final field pass of the race right now. Waltrip in 22nd. Oh, one car just got loose and into the wall on the outside of Waltrip. It was Jeremy Mayfield in the 19 car, but he did not completely lose control. We stay green. Waltrip to the inside of Casey Mears. Gonna pass him for 20th. See here, crew chief. 19 more, we've got the lead. That was not the time for sarcasm. Not that kind of sarcasm, at least. 44 laps to go in the race. Waltrip is looking to get around Ricky Rudd for 19th off the exit of turn 2 side by side. Martrix Jr. just got back on the lead lap. We'll see if Michael Waltrip can get back on the lead lap. Eventually, at least. Actually, I think that's Truex who got lapped again by Dale Jr., so never mind. We'll take a ride with Martin Truex Jr. in the 1 car for the final time in this race, and then we'll, of course, races Dale Jr. to the end from there. And there's no way Dale Jr. is going to be able to save enough fuel to the end of the race. He is going to be 10 laps short. Only 17 cars are on the lead lap currently. $40 laps to go this time by. Comment in the chat down below. You think Dale Jr. is going to find a way to go to victory lane in this race? Yes or no? Church just ran a 29.1 that last lap. Booking it right now. Would like to get back on the lead lap. He's also not going to battle the 8 car too much. Another 29.1, 2 laps in a row for Truex. I'm not going to be able to save 10 laps of fuel. I'm not even going to attempt it. There's no chance. Said Thomas says yes with 20 to go. What, that we're going to see a yellow? Bill, welcome to the stream. Had some rough races lately, yeah. Fortunately. Races Dale Jr. to the end of the race, starting next lap. We'll keep Truex behind a little bit. And we're actually going to give a lot of space to Dale Jr. right now. We'll just try to make sure the air's not going to get taken off the rear spoiler of the 8 anytime soon.
Okay, buddy, let's do it.
Into turns 1 and 2. An adjustment change was made for Dale Jr. on that last stop. Trying to help tighten the car up longer into this run. 19.3 second lead for Dale Jr. $15 miles of saving fuel. That's just way too much. It's not going to be possible to save that many laps, even with a few cautions. So definitely, if we get another yellow in this one, Junior's going to hit pit road. And there are only 17 cars on the lead lap, so it's definitely doable. And with fresh tires, we can put the edginess back in the car too. For my qualifying setup, I'll feel comfortable with it on about 30 lap fresh tires. Or at least to only go about 30 laps or less to the end of the race. I feel confident I can make it that far without wrecking. Why wouldn't I let him by? I mean, if he gets there, I will. But, I mean, I also don't want to give up too much time. Probably just have team orders to try and help him follow us. As long as it's not getting me too loose, putting too much airflow on the rear spoiler. So I'm still going to have to pit one more time. So I don't want to just let those guys go. That I could potentially be battling for position by the end of this race, even if it is a teammate. Yeah, I don't plan on saving fuel. There's not one track you could save 10 laps of fuel at without any cautions. It's just not possible. There's no way. Even Martinsville, half mile. There's no way. That's a lot of foot off the gas, clutching and coasting. Especially on a mile and a half, nonetheless. Which is 3 times the length of Martinsville for 1 lap. Just to put it into equivalence, it's like trying to save 30 laps of fuel at Martinsville during a green flag tire stint. Less than 30 laps to go, though, right now. At least for the time being. Again, Junior's hitting his marks, for the most part, pretty well. Five laps on road course. And not on an oval though. And that's 10 laps we're asking for in this one, not 5. We got lap 300 this time by. Man, this is going to be sad. Juniors is probably going to lead over 100 laps in this race and may struggle to get a top 10. I honestly had more confidence in this strategy. I'll definitely take the blame for it if we don't get a caution. We had 5 cautions in this race. I would not have expected we were going to go green from lap 183 to the end. By far the longest green flag run of the race of over 100 laps. We're going to go through 2 full fuel runs to get there. Once Dale Jr. pits. Hopefully Truex leaves at least that much space behind behind his teammate Dale Jr. Jr. doesn't want to get too loose here, take it off the rear spoiler of his car. Because it's still handling well longer into the run. Riding in line behind Shane Meal on the front stretch into turns 1 and 2. That would be a position for Truex because Meal pitted under the caution with Dale Jr. earlier on. Jr. can't get around the 08 car right now. Right front starting to wear out a bit more. Meal going wide off the exit of turn 4. Dale Jr. going to get around him. Quarter tank of gas left for Dale Jr. in dire need of a late caution to help save his race and at least give him a chance on a restart. With Meal a lap down, that's 1 less car he'd have to pass on a restart too. Because now we only have 16 cars on the lead lap. And I think Scott Wimmer may be the next car in front of Dale Jr. also on equal tires with the 8 car. I already know I'm not going to have enough fuel. Yeah, I mean, it's not even going to be close. We're about 10 laps short. Just hoping for a caution so we can pit and have a chance restarting towards the end of the lead lap. Wimmer just pit, by the way. Dale Jr. has just led the most laps in today's race. He has clinched the most laps led. So that's going to be a 10 bonus point performance. If there's one thing this strategy gave him, was the ability to lead the most laps. So he led quite a bit early in the race before that first caution at lap 70. Will we see a late yellow at Atlanta? 20 to go. And the sooner it comes out, the better for Earnhardt, because that's more laps he can try to get around cars on restarts. Not to mention if we get cautions, breeding more cautions on another restart, because the restarts have been wild, both in the truck race at Atlanta last night and this Cup race today. We finished second with Ron Hornaday in our truck race last night under the lights at Atlanta for a full 100% race there, 200 miles, 130 laps. This one more than twice that length, 500 miler. Trying to put another car lap down. I can't tell how far ahead we are anymore. There we go. Now it's down to 17 seconds again. I was going to say, I was saying like plus 600 something there for a little bit. About the last lap. That was a fast lap on old tires for Dale Jr. 29.184. Truex also getting around that car for position. So now we're down to 15 cars left on the lead lap, unless that car was already 1 lap down, which definitely could have been the case. 1/8 of a tank of fuel left for Dale Earnhardt Jr. $15 to go at the line. Hoping for a top 10 at least. Yeah, going fuel only on the final stop. I'm going to trust it. So the car's handling really well right now. So I think the adjustment changes are going to be good. And that's only an extra 10 laps on these tires compared to earlier. So we're going 75 instead of 65 to the end. I just can't lock the tires up getting to pit road either. I definitely can't have a speeding penalty. Couple cars side by side off the exit of turn 4, running a bit wide. Dale Jarrett, Kyle Petty. Truck's getting a little close behind the 8 car right now. It's upsetting the airflow, and Junior's gotten a bit looser because of it. Gonna clear Kyle Petty off the exit of turn 2 still. Closes in on the 88 of Dale Jarrett. Junior's going to be able to go further than 10 to go before he pits. He's definitely not going to make it to the end still. Somehow he has saved a lot of fuel, though, this run compared to previous runs, and he is going to go more than 65 laps. Probably looking at about 67, 68 laps on this tank. Still 7 to 8 laps short to the end. So we have 11 laps to go right now. And all 4 tires are in the yellow for Dale Jr. Dale Jarrett holding Dale Jr. and Martin Truex Jr. up. I believe he is on the lead lap, I would have to imagine. 10 laps to go at Atlanta. Well, we have a 4th different winner in the first 4 races of the season. Maybe, maybe not. Dale Jr. not going to waste any time right now behind Dale Jarrett. 9 laps to go. Into turns 1 and 2. Junior going to stay out 1 more lap. Dale Jr. is going to push it 1 more lap. He'll go to 8 laps to go, and then he'll pit. Stayed out as long as possible, hoping for a caution. Just has not gotten it. Heavy, dirty air behind the 88 of Jarrett right now, but he's hanging on strong. In that tight box with Truex right there as well. All over the back of Dale Jr. Jr. will pit coming to 7 laps to go this time by. He's going to be that short on fuel to the end of the race. Oh, he just looped it! No! Into the inside retaining wall. We have a caution. Trying to get to pit road. That's going to hurt him on this restart. Ay, 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 ay. And he nosed it into the inside wall pretty good, too. Not the caution he wanted, because now that's going to cost him more positions. Because even taking fuel and tires here, I'm going to have to do, because I'm going to run out of fuel on the restart. That just hurt him even more. To go that long without a mistake and then do that trying to get into the pits. The one car was right behind Truex. I don't think, or right behind Junior. I don't think he got into the back of him, but trying to get into the pits. We have a couple other cars pitting right now too. Dale Jr. is not the only one. Looks like Boris Said is in the pits as well. Ryan Newman is going to be the leader trying to get his first win of the season. Tony Stewart will be in second on the restart. All the lap cars to the rear of the field for the restart. Green flag back in the air. Junior's in 16th. He might have had a shot going fuel only to get a top 10. And now he only has 4 laps left on the restart. He has not taken off well in the restarts all day today. That caution might have cost the Junior a top 10. He's still going to get a lead lap finish, but I think it cost him a shot at a top 10. Can't touch the apron. But I was trying to pit like I had to. I was going down on the track to try and pit. Like I had no choice. And I had actually made a couple green flag stops earlier in the race and not wrecked either. So I don't understand why I lost control that time, but not the first couple. It looped around on me so easy. Big block. Dale Jr. on Michael Waltrip. Mayfield got around the 8 car on the restart right now as well. 2 laps to go at the line. Ryan Newman leads. If we get to the white flag, the next flag will end the race. And I should say it will be the checkered flag because no cautions come out in the final lap in this game. One took the air off. That's what I was thinking too. Jeremy Mayfield is holding Dale Jr. up right now also. Jr. trying to get going. He just can't get around the 19. Mayfield's a lap down too. I don't know why he's battling Dale Jr. so hard. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go for Ryan Newman. He's got a couple car length lead over second place. Jr. finally going to get around Mayfield, but he is not going to gain a single spot on this restart. Unless the field crashes in front of him off of turn 4, but that doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Mostly single file. Checkered flag in the air. Ryan Newman will be the 4th different winner in the first 4 races of the season. Newman wins at Atlanta. Dale Jr. leads the most laps and finishes 16th. That is disappointing. I did not need that caution. I was not going to win the race. But I think I could have had a top 10. Because the car was handling well on old tires. A lot better than what it did earlier with the adjustment changes I made the stop before that. I could have went 7 extra laps on those tires. Spun out coming into the pits. Cost me a top 10. And Truex was all over my back bumper when I was trying to get into the pits. He obviously was standing on the track here. He made his final stop. If that had anything to do with it. And I get I can't touch the apron in this game, but I had to get to pit road. Like, I had to go to the apron to get to pit road, and I was slowing up early. Still spun out. I made a couple green flag stops earlier in the race, no problem whatsoever. Did it in practice too, no problem. But the final time, and I'd have to look back. Maybe I was carrying a little extra speed compared to earlier. Maybe. But I don't know off the top of my head if that was the case or not. Ryan Newman did not lead many laps. He led 7 laps today, and I think it was the final 7 laps. Greg Biffle, another solid finish. He's got 3 top 2s in the first 4 races this year. He'll finish 2nd. Tony Stewart's going to end up 3rd, led 92 laps today. Bobby Labonte 4th. His teammate right behind him, and then Elliott Sadler will round out the top 5. Good win for the Rocket Man, though. Carl Edwards ends up finishing in 6th with 69 laps led. Nice. Jimmy Johnson ends up finishing in 7th. Matt Kenseth 8th. One of the Busch brothers in 9th. Mike Bliss has just gotten his 3rd top 10 of the season. 4 races. Mike Bliss has finished in the top 10 3 times. A 5th and 5th and 2/10. 6 cautions for 18 caution laps today. 24 lead changes, 3 hours, 8 minutes. Total time on today's race, 159.09 miles per hour is the average race speed. Margin of victory, 1/10 of a second. Ryan Newman, as he held on those final 5 laps on the restart to win the Golden Corral 500 at Atlanta. Let's see here. Yeah, 131 laps led for Dale Jr. today. That was the most. And all 3 DEI cars finished outside the top 15. Jr. the best of which, 16th. And then Martin Truex Jr. and Michael Waltrip finished 18th and 19th. Tough break for Waltrip to start the season. Dale Jr. only has 1 top 10 through the first 4 races. And it was the win on fuel mileage at California. If he did not play the fuel mileage strategy right in that race, Dale Jr. was going to end up finishing probably about 9th. Played the strategy right, won it. Tonight, we tried the strategy, helped us lead the most laps. More laps we led in this race than any other race this season, but we did not win the race because of it. And we had speed, that's the frustrating part too. I had a top 3 car on speed. Long run, I was fast, but I don't know if I was as fast as Edwards and Stewart, who led a lot of laps. Somehow Newman was really fast at the end of the race, I guess. Ended up cycling to the lead off the final pit stops, got the caution, and held on to the restart. Newman in the right place at the right time there. Historic Cinematics, see you in the chat. Jose Sanchez, welcome. That's a disappointing one for sure. You lead 131 laps in a race and don't even get a top 15 out of it. That's not good. Especially when we're looking for consistency. We came in 10th in points into that race. Next race is going to be the Food City 500 at Bristol. That will be an interesting one. My only Busch win was on a short track. So maybe in the Cup Series, on the first short track race of the Cup Series season, I could get a win on a short track. 500 laps at Bristol in this game, though, does not sound like it is going to be easy. It is not easy on any NASCAR video game. This one, I have had some bad luck, and that might not go down too well, but that will be next week on the channel, so I'll get a little bit of, definitely going to practice before that race, too. And definitely going to take it easy and just try to, relax back. It was a good race, all things considered. It just stinks I made that mistake at the very end there. Check out the point standings. Greg Biffle, obviously the points leader. 3 top 2s in the first 4 races. 4 top 10s. Congrats to him. Carl Edwards, his teammate, with 1 win on the year in 2nd. Jimmy Johnson is the highest in points without a win in 3rd. Tony Stewart in 4th. Matt Kenseth 5th. Bobby Labonte 6th. Mike Bliss hanging in there at 3 top 10s and 7th. Mike Bliss has 3 times as many top 10s as us. I know the math might seem a little weird because we're really early in the season, but that is the case right now. Ryan Newman is in 8th. Kyle Busch 9th. Dale Jr. still sitting 10th in points. I don't know how. 1 top 10 on the year, and we're still 10th by 5 points over Kurt Busch. Truex was ahead of us. He finished just behind us, so we did jump him in points. We're only 10 ahead of him now. So Truex back to 12th. He was in 8th. And then Michael Waltrip, still 24th in points for him after 17th place finish today. Hopefully he can get up there and be chase bound. That is going to wrap it up here tonight. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Tune in tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be doing live commentary for the Truck Series race at Charlotte tomorrow night. If there is a rain delay, we will sit through it unless it is like a torrential downpour and the radar does not look well like they are going to get the race in tomorrow. Then we'll have the NASCAR 06 Atlanta Busch race tomorrow night on the channel. That one, I believe, is around 200 laps if I'm not mistaken. So That will be the Busch Series race tomorrow if the truck race gets rained out and I can't do the live commentary for that tomorrow. Likely the last stream before I go to the Indy 500 this weekend, so probably going to be the last you'll see of me as far as live streams go until probably Monday night after tomorrow night. So tune in, though. We'll be live again tomorrow, and then after that, hopefully you enjoy this weekend's racing events. Thank you for watching. As always, like and subscribe. Again, as I already commented on, like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content on the road to 3,000 subs, on the road to becoming a NASCAR commentator for future real races down the road. Thank you so much for your appreciation and support, and I'll catch you tomorrow night.